Hey everyone, today I want to give my thoughts on the Dungeons & Dragons movie, Honor Among Thieves. I'm going to try to keep this spoiler free, but I don't usually do these kinds of reviews, so fair warning that I might unintentionally cross that line. Let me get right to it. I really enjoyed the movie. I think it was fun. I liked the story. I liked the characters. It was a little over 2 hours long, but at no point in there was I bored or looking at my watch or anything like that. I definitely want to see it again, but I will probably wait until it comes out on streaming because that's how I prefer to watch movies. My favorite part about it was that it felt like the game. There were some serious moments in there and the story had some consequences, but there were a lot of light moments in there that felt like what you would have if you were players around a table playing out this adventure. I know that a lot of people have compared it to Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's probably fair in the style of how it plays out, but I think that's used in a lot of movies now, and after watching this one, I don't feel that it's really a ripoff. It has a slightly different feel to it for me than what you get with Guardians of the Galaxy that I can't quite explain other than it does feel like a D&D game. But it's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch. I've also read some stuff about how the characters in the movie are meant to represent different types of players around a D&D table. Like you have the really serious player and the more casual player. And I can absolutely see that in the film. When I look at those characters, I can see how, oh, okay, yeah, that's the player that's like uber serious about their character. So I thought that was really interesting. Throughout the movie, the group goes on a bunch of different quests and they work towards this final battle with the big boss. And I think it's all really put together very well and definitely feels like a D&D game being put onto the big screen. And that leads me to my next point. I loved all the references to the game. I went to see it with my family, and my boys and I are fans of Dungeons & Dragons, so we were constantly making note every time we saw a certain spell or a location or a magic item or a monster show up on the screen, and that was a lot of fun. My wife is not as familiar with Dungeons & Dragons, so she did not get all those references, but she really enjoyed the movie regardless. So you don't have to be a Dungeons & Dragons fan to enjoy the film. Overall, the effects in the movie were really great. I was a little surprised and disappointed during a scene with a halfling. All I could think about as I was watching the scene was how Lord of the Rings was more than 20 years ago, and they did a masterful job at presenting the size differences for hobbits. This movie needed to put a little more budget into that because it was jarringly noticeable when there was a halfling on the screen. But honestly, that might be my only complaint. When we left the movie, we had smiles on our faces, we enjoyed it, and we talked about it for a while afterwards, trying to sync up on all the different D&D references that we found. Now, if you go into it expecting Lord of the Rings or something that will go down as a masterpiece of cinema, then you are going to be disappointed. I would put it in the same category as The Mummy from 1999 with Brendan Fraser. It's just a really fun movie to watch. It doesn't take itself too seriously like those older D&D movies tried to do. It's meant to keep you entertained for a couple hours and be something that D&D fans can relate to, and I think it succeeds at both of those things. It's a good story, it's got good pacing, good characters, exciting moments, funny moments, some sad moments, mostly good special effects, and overall it's just really fun. I give it a solid 5 out of 7. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. Love to hear from you as always. Until next time, take care.